Congrats to all the recipients, and thank you family members and friends who support them. Thank you, Brian, for sharing some details of beautiful memories of Andrea. There could be no better namesake for an award recognizing courage, for sure. Thanks also Dr. Joe, John Mabry, the committee, everyone who puts in time and effort to the recognition that you do for girls and women in sports and fitness. It's my great honor to introduce the winner of the Andrea Kabourek Courage Award, the unsinkable Molly Nance. I believe such an award for courage has been well earned by Molly for her long distance swimming conquests, most recently the St. Lucia Channel. Molly swims every morning, and to prepare for St. Lucia, she was swimming 90 minutes a day leading up to the channel swim, and she would do an 8-hour swim every weekend. 8 hours. It gave me an idea for an award we could start for next year. The Molly Nance Bat Poop Crazy. Anyway, a couple of non-swimming thoughts about Molly. I first met her in 1991 when I joined the Nebraska Sports Council staff. She served on the state games opening ceremonies committee. Back then I had no idea she was a swimmer, but I did find out quickly that she had a great sense of humor, and she was not afraid to brandish and fire away at any schmuck that teed up a good opportunity for a laugh, including Bob Devaney. Although I hear he might have got the last word. Anyway, she is one funny lady. More recently, she took on the role of State Games open water swimming director, and the sport has flourished under her leadership. The event is safe, organized, fun, and well promoted, the result of intelligence and deep passion. When it comes to distance swimming, Molly is one passionate lady. Okay, back to St. Lucia. Hopefully you've read the Lincoln Journal-Star articles by Cindy Lane Kubik last May, and recently Dennis Buckley put together the piece for this event. But here are some tangible reminders of Molly's courage. She was turned back in her English Channel effort by cold water in 2014, but was too competitive to quit. The St. Lucia swim turned out to be longer than the English Channel. St. Lucia to Martinique is supposed to be 21.2 miles to swim, but the ocean currents made it more like 25 that day, something like that. She was unable to eat solid food after the first 4 hours of the swim. And this is no minor thing, considering the amount of calories required in swimming. You swimmers know that, right? Yeah. She reached Martinique in 13 hours and 56 minutes, becoming the first woman to ever complete that channel. Congratulations to the Andrea Kabourek Courage Award winner, Molly Nance.
Wow, this is really overwhelming and humbling, as I'm sure my colleagues will attest. I don't feel deserving of this award, but I am deeply appreciative. Thank you so much, Dave, for that great introduction. As Dave mentioned, my swim in St. Lucia actually came about out of a great disappointment. I had decided that I wanted to try to swim the English Channel and spent a lot of time training for that, which involved sitting in a horse tank full of ice water for 45 minutes, whatever it took, to get used to that cold water. And when my husband and I got to Dover and the big day came and I was in the water, it really wasn't the cold so much as it was the nausea. I had swallowed quite a bit of ocean water and just couldn't keep anything down, and especially in cold water, if you can't keep anything down, you just can't keep going. So it was just an awful experience to have to hang that up early. And I think, you know, if you look at what's at the bottom of the English Channel, you'll find old warships and tanks and bric-a-brac and a little broken heart down there at the bottom of the channel. But I kind of got away from swimming for a little while when I got back, and with my my partner in crime, Carly, and conned Paul into this too. I said, hey, let's join Farrell's. Let's do kickboxing. So I did that and did some cycling and did some other things, but inevitably the call of the water kept bringing me back, and so I started swimming again. And just coincidentally, we had some friends over for dinner who were telling us about their fabulous vacation in St. Lucia. And maybe like some of you, I thought, St. Lucia, where the heck is St. Lucia? And so we took out a globe, and I was, seeing that it's a little bit north of South America, and then noticed there's this other little island right north of it. And if you're a swimmer, it's like, I wonder how far that is. I wonder if I could swim that. So I started doing some research and was surprised to find that it hadn't been swum. There was a gentleman who'd swum it, who was a native of Martinique, but I couldn't find any records of women who'd swum it or anyone else. And I thought, well, are there sharks? Are there pirates? I mean, what gives? So, again, just started doing some research and connected through the wonders of the internet with a marvelous young woman in St. Lucia, Sue Dyson, who helps organize swim events in St. Lucia. And, she thought I was nuts, and then said, well, I don't know. Let's see if we can make this work. Because there's no such thing as a solo swim in solo swimming. You need a support boat. It's kind of a rigmarole. So she helped pull together a team, and as Dave mentioned, I did a little bit of swimming at the Y, and Paul and I went to St. Lucia to give this a shot. And it, I didn't feel that courageous. I didn't feel that brave. I did feel very well physically prepared. And I think mentally I was in a better spot than I was the English Channel. I just thought, I'm going to give it my best shot. It's warmer water. I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to ask to get on the boat. But this was the first time I was ever trying it. It was the first time anybody on the boat was trying it. It was a brand new thing. I just thought there's a needle in a haystack's chance of this working out, but I'm going to give it my best shot. We're going to have fun. And when I got in the water at 4 in the morning, I don't know if and many of you seen Avatar, that movie, where it's kind of glowy and flowy and all that. When I got into the water and I started swimming, there were all these little glowing sparkles in the water. I mean, it really was magical. And there were stars in the sky above. So I was looking at stars when I looked up, and I was looking at stars in the water, and I just thought, no matter how this ends, this is the most spectacular moment in swimming that I've ever had. It was great. And then things really went downhill. About 4 or 5 hours when we got into the channel, the swells were huge. My kayaker couldn't stay with me, had to get on the boat, and I just was seasick. I just barfed all over the place, but kept swimming. You just keep going, you keep going. And then I was really struggling, wasn't sure if I could make it, and my husband said, well, you've just got to swim around Branched Oak Lake, which I've done, lots and lots of times. So I was thinking, okay, maybe about 3 more hours. As usual, he was lying. It was about another 7, 8 hours. And even as we got to Martinique and the escort, there's this escort, smaller boat that was going to follow me to the island. And I thought, why are you getting in the water already? I still don't know if I'm going to make this or not. Just kept swimming. And there was a rainbow. I mean, I was expecting the orchestra to start playing. And then got onto the beach, like a walrus, and very ungracefully got my feet underneath, and I just couldn't believe it. It was just such an overwhelming moment, and it was overwhelming not because I accomplished this, but it was this team feeling, we did it. And it was made possible because I had such a great team of support, my family, my close friends, the team that Sue put together for me in St. Lucia made it possible. And Colleen, I loved your, where are you? that giddy feeling that you have, I mean, that you'll have that forever. If you're in swimming and of course other sports, but that's what I'm familiar with, if you're with friends who are doing that with you, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 53, you still get that feeling. It's so awesome. So I want to thank the girls and women in sports and fitness for this incredible award. I need to thank, I think it was Michaela Kunke, maybe, who nominated me. Okay, I need to thank Michaela, she's not here. My support team, Sue Dyson, Martin Thomas, who was my boat pilot, Wes Moses, who was my kayaker, my friends and family. I was so honored to meet Andrea's family. Thank you so very much. I didn't know Andrea personally, but like thousands of others followed her on Facebook and was so inspired by her life. I do have a connection in that when I was planning this swim, I was planning it for this fall, and then found out that my brother had a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. So we moved it up in the spring, and I'm so glad we did. He passed away September 28th. And what I did is nothing compared, obviously nothing compared to what those facing life-threatening illness have to face every day. That's courage. That's incredible courage. But I think what we can take from that is, you know, none of us know how many days we have, and we have to live every day to the most. And find those big goals, find what fills your heart, and go after that. Because it not only fills you up, but it inspires and delights your friends, your family, and even those you don't know. So lastly, I do just want to thank my husband, Paul, especially for always being there, my strong-willed daughter, Audrey, my beautiful sister, Maureen, and my partner in crime, Carly, for being here with